Welcome to the Intuitive Woman Podcast with your host, Tina Conroy. Gain clarity, confidence, and trust in your inner wisdom. Explore spiritual topics, including intuition, healing, wellness, yoga, vibrant living, and more.
Hi, everyone. Tina here. Thank you for pressing play and joining me today on the Intuitive Woman Podcast. I hope this finds you well. I wanted to share with you the last few episodes and then tell you a little bit about today's. I have been speaking about intuition. Now, I know I speak about intuition the majority of the time on my podcast, but I had two guests recently, and then today's episode will be an excerpt of my most recent Facebook Live. My first guest was Pam Denton, and we spoke about breaking through stuck in sabotage, how we can go through these cycles over and over again and repeat them. But when we can break through, tapping into our intuition, we find more clarity and purpose and direction. My second guest was Catherine Bird, and we spoke about channeling and intuition, and Catherine demystifies what channeling is all about. Now, today's episode is an excerpt from my most recent Facebook Live, and it is all about why would you develop intuition and what are the benefits. This came directly from a student that will be attending my course January 31st. If you are listening in real time, my course starts January 31st. You'll hear on the Facebook Live that I said registration ends January 29th. However, if you are listening and you feel the desire and the need and value of doing the course, just go ahead and look at the show notes in the app that you're listening to the podcast, and all the information will be there. I would love to have you. My biggest gift is sharing intuition that you already have and tapping into that. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be with you on this Wednesday, and the sun is shining here on the East Coast, and that's a good thing. Yesterday was raining. I wanted to come to you today because I wanted to talk about why would you want to develop your intuition. We're going to have a conversation today about why would intuition benefit you? Why would it benefit you to develop it? Why would you even want to do something like that? And I want to take you through what intuition is and why we want to develop it, and maybe a little bit of history about it and things like that. So I got this question today and I thought to myself, wow, that question is brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? As you know, I am holding my 4-week online group coaching course, an intuitive group coaching course, and registration ends the 29th. We begin the 31st, January 31st. And January 31st is a very special day because it's a super moon, full moon. And we'll get to that, but that's going to be the launch of the course. And today I had a student email me and say, I'm really interested in the course. And I know I have intuition. My friend says I do. However, why would I want to do this? Why would it benefit me to have intuition? Why would it benefit me to develop it? And I thought, wow, I just take it for granted, right? I just take it for granted why we'd want to do that. So I want to just tell you a little bit, and I do have some notes here, so this is more about a learning thing. But why would you want to develop intuition? What benefit would you get out of it? And I want to share a little bit. So they say that intuition is referred to as your inner guidance. It's your inner compass. Some people call it like the GPS of the soul. It's your aha. It's your inner knowing. It's the knowledge and the wisdom that you just have. And everybody has it. So discount the fact if you're saying I'm not intuitive, because that is not true. We are all intuitive. Now, it doesn't require any logical thought. And also, it's just instinctive. There's a lot of instinctive ability to it. I always say that, and I've heard this before, that it's not your sixth sense, it's your first sense. And that didn't come from me, but I heard that somewhere along the way, and I really love that. So think about it. We have been conditioned to think that it's outside of ourselves, or it's for special people or select people. Now, in my podcast that was just uploaded yesterday, we talk about this, and I had a very special guest, Catherine Bird. I'll put the link below if you missed the podcast. We're talking about channeling and intuition, but she talks about this very thing, how intuition is, been known to be mystical and magical for some and a gift for others. And that's not true, but I'll check that out. I'll put the link below for you guys, but moving on to intuition. So, it's an alternative source of knowledge. So think about that. We have all this knowledge. We have knowledge within us. We have knowledge in books and things we see and the environment. It's an alternate source. And it's a level of awareness. It's a different level of awareness. When we tap into our intuition, and there's many ways to do this, we heighten our awareness. I mean, think about it. If you go on your day and you just kind of get up in the morning and you just continue to take your daily route to work, if you're not aware, you just get from point A to point B and you have no idea how you got there. If you're more aware, you might notice the color of the houses or the color of the grass or the things around you or how the air smells or the temperature. That's all part of being intuitive and having senses. Now, why would we develop this? Well, I have a few things, and they're just a lot of them that I think are just really interesting benefits. But before I go there, I want to tell you a little bit about some really great thinkers, some spiritual teachers, and some humanitarians that have really thought that developing intuition was really a pretty cool thing. So I'm going to just quote here, many great thinkers from Immanuel Kant, even to Carl Jung, okay, have emphasized the importance of intuition and great impact it had on their personal and professional lives. They found that this knowledge that they gained was essential, and it was a tool for all humans. And then there is a quote from Carl Jung, and I'm gonna kind of just quote it here. Carl Jung goes on and say, "I regard intuition as a basic psychological function that mediates perception in an unconscious way. Intuition enables us to divine the possibilities of a situation." So it's that inner knowing. Also, what happens with intuition as you develop intuition, it helps with creative self-expression. So it helps you create your self-expression and then creative projects. So if you're if you're intuitive, you're more creative, you're exploratory. So a lot of amazing artists and creative people use that intuition. They use how they sense things in their body, right? So physically, how they sense things, how they feel things, how they see things, how they know things, maybe how they hear things, maybe even how they taste things. But what are some of the benefits? So I always use the first, before we even go to the benefits, I want to tell you a little bit that all of us have probably experienced. How many of you have walked into a room or you've met somebody and you have a visceral feeling in your body? Literally a visceral feeling. And it may not be a good feeling. Maybe it's like a feeling in your stomach, or maybe it's a good feeling. Maybe you have a good feeling in your heart, like very open. You know that feeling. If you're aware of that, you can sense how that feels. How does that person feel to you? So as we go back, there is this awareness. So think about that in your visceral body. And Adelia or Lorena, if you felt that, if you've ever walked into a room and you just know how you feel with that person, has either one of you, since you're online, has either one of you felt that feeling? So for most people we have, it's like, oh, I really like that person, or I don't like that person, or that person makes me feel good, or I have a good open heart, loving feeling, or I have this horrible feeling in my stomach. That's a visceral feeling. That's a physical feeling. And that would be more clairsentient. So that's like empathic, and that's how we feel. Now it can be good and bad, right? So you could walk into a room and there was an argument or a fight or something not good, and you could feel icky, but you don't know why. So it's just like the leftover energy. And go ahead and post in there if you felt this way. Maybe you hear something, right? So let's move to clairaudience a little bit. So if you're aware and you're just driving in the car and you're aware of sound. So let's just break it down from there. You're aware of sound. You're aware of driving the car, the motor of the car. You're aware of the wind. You're heightening your senses, the everyday senses, so that when they're a little bit maybe last like a quick instinct, or you hear something, you can tune into that. The more we're aware in the everyday, in the senses, the more we can increase our intuition. So why would we want to develop this? What's the point? I mean, why? Why would you want to? So I have a few things that I think are really important, and they're the benefits for intuition and developing intuition. These aren't in any order at all. So the first one is it helps you deal with problems and probably reduce stress. So if you're more intuitive, you are able to be in tuned intuit, right? So to take it in, be aware and identify with those problems, identify with different areas in your life, their problems, and also problem solve more effectively because you're tuned in. Let's face it. So it helps you to reduce stress because it doesn't feel so stressful because you have a lot of trust. You have trust that you can deal with problems more effectively. So that's one really good benefit. The second one is, I said this before, creativity and also imagination. You can be very creative. You can be very creative in all different ways. Now, this doesn't just mean being creative as an artist or as a singer, but everyone is creative in their own way. I was actually a guest on a podcast, The Empowered Spirit Show, and we talked about this. We talked about being creative. And I said to Terry, I said, I never thought I was a creative person, but I do know that now because I always thought creativity had to be painting or drawing or writing a book. I know that creativity comes in many different forms. So it unleashes your creativity and your imagination. It really opens up that area of creativity. Another great benefit. So another thing it does, it helps you connect with your inner truth. It connects to that part of you. And I'm going to say it connects to your spirit, higher self. It's a way for you to connect to yourself, to allow yourself to kind of uncover some of those things, the hidden truths that we have, and it puts us in touch with our subconscious. Your dreams can be more heightened. You can use your dreams to maybe figure some things out or connect on a deeper level. So there's that subconscious level as well. The other part is it helps you to prevent a lot of negativity. So you can prevent a lot of negativity when you're in tune with your intuition and you notice that part of you. You can let go of that part and say, "Oh, that's just my thoughts," or "That's just this thing," right? "That's not me." You can be more aware of what's going on, and it creates a positive mindset. You can work with it that it creates a positive mindset. Puts things in great perspective. The other part of developing your intuition is it helps the right side and left side of your brain. It really helps with the cognitive thinking, which is your logical side, right? And the right side, which is your creative side. So it kind of helps to balance out the functions and complete it also with perspective. Helps with decision making. And then it also helps with overall wellness and health. The thing that I want to add too is it's fun. That's the biggie. Why not? It's fun to develop your intuition. That is also a benefit. Fun. And let's just kind of hone in on that. Oh, these are great benefits. We want to be more creative. We want to tune in with ourselves. We want to connect deeper. We want to have an inner knowledge. But what about fun? That is a huge benefit. Fun. F-U-N. How many people, if I ask you right now, what do you do for fun? You would probably not have an answer for me. So to develop your intuition, one of the biggest benefits that I find is fun. It is fun. It is playful. That is what we're going to be doing in the online course. We are going to have fun and we're going to play. We're not only just going to learn and be really technical. We're going to really play with our intuition. We're going to be able to connect with other people in the group. We're going to have accountability partners and be able to learn all about our inner knowledge and our creativity. And then also we're going to take it a little step further. And in our secret Facebook group, we're going to be able to not only connect with each other and tune in with each other, we're going to tune in with ourselves. And we're going to use Oracle cards. We're going to use that as, I would like to say, as a tool. So those are a few things. I'm so grateful to the student that gave me that email this morning and said, how does intuition benefit me? And why would I want to develop it? And I'm so grateful that I was able to jump on today and just kind of let you know that. So you can go through those steps. Those are the benefits. But like I said, one of the biggest one is fun. We want to develop this for fun. We want to develop it to have some magic. So join me in the online course. Registration is going to end on the 29th. Just know it's 4 weeks. It's 7 p.m. Eastern time on a Wednesday. Not everybody is on the East Coast. So I have a lot of people on different coasts. It's recorded. We have a secret Facebook group, and really dig in deep to your intuition. You know, everybody can benefit from intuition, like I just said. No matter what walk of life you are, no matter what you do, everybody can benefit. So, hey, Rita, I saw you just joined too. And so know those benefits. I'm going to write them out when I get off. But I wanted to just share that with you. I was so happy that student sent me that email today and said, why would this benefit me? And so I want to share that with you. So if you've ever thought about intuition, if you know you have intuition, which you do, if you're not sure you have intuition, but you're thinking about it, and also if you just want to know, why would I want to do this? These were a few benefits. So I wanted to go over that today. The link is above. Registration ends on the 29th. We start on the 31st. Don't worry if you can't make all the classes. They're recorded, and I can always do an extra follow-up call with you. Everybody is amazing, and I'm so excited. So any questions, just kind of leave them in the chat or just reach out to me. But I thought it was really important just to jump on, say hello, and go over how does intuition benefit you and why would you develop it. So have a glorious day. I'm so glad I got to reach out to some of you. Bye-bye. Namaste. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you got some information about why you would want to develop your intuition and what are the benefits. As a podcaster, it can be a lonely job because we don't get a lot of feedback. I would love to hear your feedback. So just let me know what topics you would like me to cover. I'm always looking to cover more and more spiritual topics, or maybe bring on some great guests. You can do that by my email, tinaconroy111@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook. If you're part of my group, just drop me a line. Or maybe you would like to be a guest, so we can always have a conversation. Have a beautiful day. Many blessings.